All righty. Looks like we are ready to go. It is 11 o'clock on a beautiful Thursday. And welcome to the first episode of Zia Comics Weekly. Joey here with you from Hot 103's Big Show. And I am excited that we're going to be able to do this today. Every Thursday, you can be able to catch us right here on the socials. Okay. First, I got to let you know, make sure you guys go and follow Zia Comics today. And without further ado, we got my man here, Troy, joining us. What's up, Troy? How are you?
Hey, pretty good, pretty good. Weather's holding out, so like you said, a beautiful day here in Las Cruces.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Holiday season is right around the corner. Got to ask you, shopping's done. You got shopping taken care of, or are you still running around taking care of any last minute shopping?
I try to avoid the stores and do it online. I don't like crowds.
No, I was telling my wife today, I was like, I still got some shopping I got to do today. And she's like, don't worry, I already took care of everything. So I was like, good, I'm set.
Yeah,
so
just sign right here, put your name on this card.
pretty much she's like, just don't look at the bank statement. You're going to be fine. Okay. Everything will be good. Just don't look at the bank statement. Of course, we are live on social media. Want to let everybody know watching today. If you have any questions, if you want to jump in on the conversation, let us know. And of course, we'll answer your questions. Anything that you got, we're here to answer you. Got to give a big shout out to Jackie as well as Martine. They are helping us out today and getting things situated. Well, let's go ahead and get to business this morning. We got a lot to cover. We're going to be talking about all things comics. We're going to jump into a little bit of movies, trailers that you may have seen. There's a lot to talk about. But first, we got to talk about what Zia Comics has going on with Toys for Tots. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Toys for Tots, it's a program we really believe in. A lot of unfortunate kids out there that if without Toys for Tots, they wouldn't have anything for Christmas. So we have the big Toys for Tots box out there, and we're running a special. If you spend $10 in Zia Comics for the Toys for Tots program, we'll give you 10% off your total purchase at that time. And if you spend $20 for Toys for Tots at Zia Comics, we'll give you 20% off. So you can save money and you're doing something good at the same time. So.
Perfect. So, and I'm sure the people that are shopping, they'll find some unique stuff at your store, right?
We have a few unique things. Yeah,
I know. Just a few unique things. Let me tell you, if you come into the store, you're going to be here for hours. Okay. So don't think you're going to come in here for 10 minutes and just like, oh, I got to get what I need. No, you'll be here for quite some time. Talk a little bit about what you got in the store, just some unique items that you have this holiday season.
We have all the new comics. We have the older vintage type comics, trade paperbacks, board games. Board games are really hot right now. We have a lot of manga. Manga is just crazy hot right now.
Yeah.
We have the statues and the books for those. Miniatures. If you're into the painting the little war miniatures or D&D stuff, we have those and all the paints and brushes you need for that. Jigsaw puzzles. And if none of that, if you get bored while your friends are shopping, just go in the arcade and play some pinball.
Yeah, no, I noticed the pinball when we came a couple of days ago. I was like, yeah, I think I could spend quite a few hours in the pinball room.
Yeah, and a few quarters.
Yeah, that too. So make sure you guys come and check them out. Zia Comics. Let them know where you're located. Of course, downtown. You can't miss them. Give them the address.
It's 125 North Main Street, right across from the plaza. You can't miss it.
That's right. And don't forget about, of course, their Toys for Tots promotion. Come on by, talk to the staff, and they are here to help you out. All right, let's go ahead and get to today's topics. We got quite a bit to cover today. We do got to start off with, of course, George Bettis and the situation going on with George Bettis. Let people know what's been going on if they haven't seen the headlines yet.
Right. He's been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, I believe stage 2 or 3. So they've given him 6 to 12 months, I think. It's really sad. And he's such a nice guy. He's done so much for comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it breaks my heart.
I'm thinking of just some of the things that he's been a part of. I mean, you talk about the new Teen Titans, Wonder Woman. I'm looking at my notes right now. Avengers. Just the list goes on and on. He's been in a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of icon, and he redid a lot of the costumes for those teams. Very instrumental in that stuff. Especially with new Teen Titans, him and Marv Wolfman working together. That's what he's known for, but. On top of that, if you ever met him at a con, he's just such a nice guy. I hate to see that happen to the nice ones.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing you mentioned, especially when, I think a lot of us, when we hear the names, we don't know, how they're going to be, when we meet them in real life. And so when you meet somebody that is so down to earth and just willing to carry a conversation, I mean, that's always so humbling too, because
Yes.
you know you look up to these iconic characters, these names that you see, and then when you get to meet them and you can have a conversation with them for 30 to 45 minutes. I mean, that's just
Yeah, when they
it's
acknowledge
crazy.
your presence.
Yeah.
It makes it so much better.
Oh, that's always well. Of course, yeah. Well, you know, thoughts and prayers. You know, we're thinking, you know, about him and his family, and you know, we're just definitely, we're thinking about you. One thing I came across, and I don't know about you, I saw this on TikTok. John Cena, Peacemaker.
Have you seen any of the trailers?
Oh, they're amazing. We got to start, of course, with the Suicide Squad. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the Suicide Squad, I would say that Peacemaker really stole the show.
Yeah, I'm not a big John Cena fan, but the dude has some comedic chops.
He does.
He really does. And that they've changed the take on Peacemaker. In the comics, he was not a comedy type character.
Yeah.
But they do that a lot of times. Marvel did it with Drax, and now they're doing this with Peacemaker on DC. But yeah, John Cena, like you said, he stole the show on Suicide Squad.
And I very, because he does come from the wrestling world, and I think a lot of people when they see him, they're like, oh, there comes another wrestler trying to be an actor. But you got the same in Dave Bautista, who came from the wrestling world, and now he's doing the acting thing. They seem to really thrive, especially when it comes to these superhero movies. And John Cena is just the latest when it comes to Peacemaker.
I might make a lot of people mad, but wrestling is acting. It's but I mean, you even had The Rock. I mean, there's a long list of these guys who've jumped into acting. Some more popular than others, but yeah, John Cena is really making a big splash.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be more action hero, but I think he's become more that comedic presence. Because if you look at some of the movies that he's done in the past, I mean, he's done everything from Blockers to he did a movie with Tina Fey. His comedic timing is perfect. So to put him in this role, I really thought we were going to get action star. I mean, you got the action, but you still got the comedy.
Yeah, it's mostly comedy with him, and it works. It works really well for him.
Oh, it's perfect. So of course, Peacemaker, that's going to be coming pretty soon. Of course, you got the TV series, HBO Max. Man, they really got some. I was just talking to before we jumped on. It's been great to see these movies and kind of get that 30 days before they come off the streaming service. And we got that with Suicide Squad, and now we're going to be getting this TV series for the Peacemaker.
Right.
I'm keeping my subscription at this point.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the trailers for the Peacemaker series, go check them out because they are hilarious.
I don't know if you've seen the TikToks that he's been doing, and that's one thing I have to give it to him. He knows comedic timing on social media. Whenever they were doing the announcements, and he did a meet and greet in costume to see some of the fans, like, I got to meet John Cena, and they are literally posing with nobody there because his whole thing is you can't see me.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just, I mean, the comedic timing. I think John Cena does the best at when it comes to promoting a movie, promoting a project, and Peacemaker.
Yeah, I put him right there with Ryan Reynolds on the movie promotions.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. I mean, even when he's promoting cell phones, which you don't even know, he's always promoted something. I can't remember off the top of my head. Peacemaker. When does the series come out? I think it's next year.
Yeah,
I think
I
early
believe
next
it's
year.
Early 2022.
Early 2022. And that's going to be on HBO Max for you guys. If you have HBO Max, whatever streaming service you guys, make sure you guys go get that. Let me ask you, which streaming service are you using the most right now? For me, it's been HBO Max the most.
It started during COVID. I was on HBO Max a lot, and then Disney Plus kicked in because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and they've just been one after another, all these great Star Wars things. And I got to catch up with all my Clone Wars and Rebels and all that stuff, which they're better than the movies. If you've never watched them, go watch Clone Wars and Rebels because they make the movies pale in comparison.
Let me get your thoughts on Boba Fett. That's going to be coming. I am excited for that, especially because it was, for me, it was hyped up, especially when we saw it during The Mandalorian. And then I was just like, I'm in, I'm hooked, I'm ready. And then now we know it's going to be coming Christmas weekend.
Yeah, Book of Boba. You get to see Dad Bod Boba.
See, I could cut it as a superhero, Dad Bod. It would be perfect.
Do it, besides the 20-some years of training.
Yeah, that too. I mean, you mean you can't just train in 5 minutes? And
other
be
than
ready
that,
to go?
we're the same.
Of course, that's going to be coming to Disney Plus in a few weeks. Speaking of Disney Plus, Hawkeye. That's one that I need to catch up on. I've fallen behind. There's 4 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
What are your overall thoughts so far on Hawkeye?
I'm loving it, but I'm going to tell you, if you haven't watched Black Widow first, you kind of need to watch it first, there's a episode 4. There's a big tie-in
Okay.
to Black Widow, but it's Marvel. It's got the perfect blend of comedy and action and a lot of throwback references to different characters.
Let me ask you, because I was actually having this discussion with a friend, and this phase of Marvel, I think the TV shows, and this is just my take, I think the TV shows that we've seen on Disney Plus have really outshined some of the movies that we've seen in theaters. What are your thoughts on that?
I gotta kind of agree. They're right. If they're not better, they're the same quality, and I mean they're pumping money into the TV series to make them as good as the movies.
Yeah, because
and they're tying them both together.
Yeah.
They don't exist separately. They're cohesive.
and nothing against the movies, because I mean, The Eternals, great movie, gets you excited. I mean, Marvel movies do what they're supposed to do. They get you excited for the next film. Shang-Chi,
Oh,
that was by far, to me, was an amazing movie. I don't think a lot of people expected how great a movie it was going to be. And it just, if you haven't seen it, you got to go watch that one. Make plans to go watch that one. But when it comes to the TV series, we saw with WandaVision, Loki, I mean, you're hooked.
yeah. And like I said, I think it's the cohesiveness because, like you said, they lead into one another.
Yeah.
And they reference one another a lot also. So
It's been, like I said, I think the TV shows, they've got something. Hawkeye is one that I need to watch. I'm hearing that I need to catch up because episode 5, they're supposed to drop some major.
they said it's going to break the internet.
Yeah, so I got to catch that.
I think I know what they're going to do. I'm not
Okay.
sure, but my guess is they're bringing, because they've already said D'Onofrio is coming back as Kingpin.
Yes.
So it just makes sense to bring in Charlie Cox as Daredevil.
Okay. So
and maybe even Bernthal as Punisher, because they're all in that Kingpin universe.
So we're definitely going to see more crossovers, which I think the best thing about that, though, is because then it opens up, because I think us as fans, we get to kind of guess where they're going to go next. Are we going to get a Daredevil movie? Are we going to get a Daredevil series? Are we going to start seeing X-Men? Like, I mean, it's just, there's so many things that we're going to start seeing.
Yeah. Like I said, Marvel, they played it right from the beginning. Their movies, they've been killing DC.
Yeah.
DC, I think they tried to do too much in one movie, and Marvel kind of introduced you to these characters spread out and then threw them together. DC was just like, well, here's Justice League. Here's,
Yeah, but I could see them changing. I think when we start looking towards the future. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, we do got another Batman that's going to be coming in 2022. Do we see a change, or is it just going to be, more of the same? And I know a lot of fans out there, we've seen it on the internet. Not a lot of people happy that Robert Pattinson's Batman. Some are saying, I mean, it can go on and on when it comes to the internet. What are your thoughts as far as that? And what does DC need to do, I guess, to catch up to Marvel? Because there's a lot that I could see them doing, and I think it started with what they did with the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Well, DC they did the dark and brooding thing with Nolan a lot.
Yeah.
And that was great for its time, but I think people have moved on from that, and DC needs to move on. People want to, they want to laugh a little bit too while they're seeing the action. And they did that a little bit in the Justice League movie. And I think DC's finally, they hired James Gunn.
Yeah.
And he killed it with Suicide Squad. So.
Yeah. And then I know with Black Adam coming, and then, Shazam, I think Shazam was kind of the beginning of that. We saw a little bit more comedy, entering into the movies rather than it just be serious throughout the whole roles. And, this dark, you got the Dark Knight, there's just so much that I see so much potential. And I don't know, I wouldn't sleep on DC. I think DC's definitely going to bring a lot to the table. Let's move on to our next topic of the day. And I'm excited for this one, okay? Because I liked this movie, and I know a lot of people out there like this movie. As a matter of fact, when I told Jackie that I really enjoyed this movie, she laughed at me. Sonic the Hedgehog, okay?
Oh.
What were you saw the first one, right?
Don't sleep on that movie. It actually, I was pleasantly surprised. It was really good.
This is how much of a fan I am, Troy. My dog is named Knuckles. That's how much of a fan I am. My dog is 50. He's going to be 15 years old next month. That's how big of a fan I am. So I was excited to see it. I was pleasantly surprised what they did with this movie. And now we got Sonic 2 going to be coming up
with some big names.
Yes, I'm looking at the list right now. Let's see. We got Ben Schwartz is going to be coming back
from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, it's just hilarious. Idris Alba. That one was a good one, right?
That one, he's going to be Knuckles, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I when I saw that, I'm like, really? So I had to Google it, make sure I wasn't being catfished or something.
Yeah, that. And then I really thought, because there was rumors going around that it was going to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was going to play Knuckles, but then that didn't happen. Then we got the Idris Alba announcement. But then we got to talk about the man Jim Carrey. His performance was amazing in the first one.
The man's face is made out of plastic. I don't know how he does some of that stuff. Yeah, he pulled off Robotnik perfectly.
I didn't think he was going to, because you're just kind of,
Yeah.
it's Jim Carrey. I mean, he makes a lot of faces. He has some iconic characters out there, by the way, for those that have followed him, from the Ace Venturas to when he played the Riddler. I mean,
Mask.
he's the Mask. That's one. Still not too happy about that Mask too. Okay, that's a sore subject right there. But no, I mean, he did amazing as Dr. Robotnik, and it's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, and they're bringing Tails in also. And
Yes.
it's the same girl who played the voice in all the cartoons and video games, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, I believe. So there will be some continuity there. You'll recognize the voice of Tails.
Now, I don't know if you saw at the very end. Obviously, there was that teaser at the end of the first one, and we did get a glimpse of Tails. So right away, the first thing I think is, okay, they did a really good job of putting the character together. Because if you remember when we first got that first look of Sonic the Hedgehog, I think a lot of people were worried.
There was some backlash.
Yeah.
So much so they went back and redesigned. He did look kind of scary.
Yeah, he really did. I was like, I don't think I want a T-shirt or a stuffed animal with that Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
But if you ever want, the story like the Kukui, just show him that old Sonic the Hedgehog. It'd be kind of similar. But see, he's already getting freaked out.
Thank
right
goodness
now.
they changed it.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, April 2022. Be on the lookout for that one. I'm excited for that one, and I will be telling everyone to go watch that movie.
Make Jackie go watch the first one.
I gotta tell you a story, and we'll save that for another time of Jackie going to a movie theater. We'll talk about that one. Let's get into our next one today. Let's talk Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. We saw a trailer. I think it was last week that we saw our first glimpse of it.
Right.
First thoughts. What are your first thoughts about it?
I was kind of, they're bringing Spider-Gwen back, who's a very popular character. But what got me, if you watch in that trailer, you'll see Miguel O'Hara, the Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah.
Great character, big following, but then they ended the 2099, and they haven't found a home for him since then.
Yeah.
He tried to get his own title again. It just didn't work out. But you see him when Miles is, I guess, floating between the multiverses. He pops out of somewhere, and they're going at it. And it's just a really good sequence right there. So,
and I'm excited because, like you said, they're finally finding a place for Spider-Man 2099. We're gonna find a place for him. But it looks like we're gonna see some of the. I'm looking at the notes right now. Some of the cast from the last one are gonna be back, especially Jake Johnson. He's gonna be back. For those, he's from New Girl fame. He's been in some other movies as well, but he's also in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, he was in the first one too. He was the sloppy.
He's the Spider-Man I related to the
Yes.
most. So talk a little bit about some of the other cast members that we have listed as far as that are going to be a part of this one.
Miguel O'Hara, the voice is going to be done by Oscar Isaac, which you probably know him from Star Wars. That's where I know him from.
Yeah.
Miles Morales is Shamik Moore. The one that gets me is Haley Stanfield is going to come back as Spider-Gwen. And when I saw the name, it dawned on me as she's playing Kate Bishop on Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So she's going to have two really hot titles out at the same time.
All I'm hearing is cha-ching.
Yeah, I'm sure her accountant is loving it.
It's like, well, how can we get her on the X-Men movie? Or
Yeah.
maybe she needs to be in Fantastic Four. We can make her some more money.
Oh, I wish they would make a good Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, man, we need a good Fantastic Four movie.
They've been mediocre at best.
I've been still waiting for that teaser, though. I mean, I don't know, the next Spider-Man movie that we're going to see in a couple of weeks. I mean, maybe they'll be teasing getting into that one. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that would be. He has interacted with Fantastic Four quite a bit in the comics, so it wouldn't be a big stretch.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and find out. Wait and find out.
Cross fingers.
Let's switch gears and let's talk Star Wars. And this is so cool. Okay, so there's an Airbnb in El Paso, just down the road from us. Talk a little bit about these themed Airbnbs that people could go and check out.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well it would work in El Paso. I would think it would do better around theme park or something.
Yeah.
But you can go in and the whole house is just Star Wars themed. Just from paintings on the whole wall will be painted as a Darth Vader, and then you'll have Sith over here. It's just crazy. It's a really great. It sets them apart from the other places because if you're a nerd like me and you're coming to El Paso for whatever, you're going through Airbnb like, oh look, there's this an Adobe here says, oh wait a minute, Star Wars, and I think it sleeps up to 8 guests, so you can split it between a bunch of friends.
All right. I think we might have our next retreat there.
Yeah.
Maybe we got to talk to the
House
radio
party.
station and say like, hey, we need to have like a bonding experience, and we all got to go to the Star Wars themed. There's also a Toy Story one as well. Looking at the prices, $200 for the Star Wars, and then $186 a night for the Toy Story 3 bed. It's 3 bed, 2 bath for that Toy Story one. So
yeah. I mean, that'd be a great. You could do a little rent it for a week.
Oh, there
and
you
do
go.
live streams out of it.
Oh, there you go. I think we have some ideas for future episodes, people. Just saying, we might be taking this show on the road. We'll see. Last thing to talk about today, we'll break it down for. Of course, we got EPCon gonna be coming. Well, break that down for us as far as when we're gonna.
El Paso Comic Con, going back to its normal, pre-COVID dates in April.
Okay.
I believe it's 23rd, 24th of 2022. We are in the process of still signing a lot of guests.
Okay.
A lot of them have been announced, but there are a few that haven't. For your wrestling fans, we announced Mick Foley. The guy is. He was on Say Yes to the Dress as well.
Yeah,
an episode of that.
He was also on an episode of Boy Meets World. Just throwing it out there. Yes, he was. He made a cameo appearance,
and he's actually written kids' books too.
Yes.
So
I'm a big wrestling fan, so that is actually a bucket list one right there. Mick Foley.
Really?
Yeah, I do want to meet. We've gotten a chance to talk to like Stone Cold Steve Austin. We've had chats with some of the the newer wrestlers, but Mick Foley is one that has always just been very intriguing to me because, like you said, he does write books. He's never shy from jumping on TV or a cameo appearance, if it's whether him being his character from wrestling or something else. He just always enjoys being.
We can probably make an interview happen.
Oh, yes. Perfect. Excited for that one. Who else we got?
We got a ton. Like I was telling you earlier, manga and anime is just so hot right now. We got a ton of voice actors, a lot of them from Tokyo Ghoul. We got Aaron Roberts, Austin Tyndall, Jared Green, Mike McFarlane, Monica Rial, and Josh Grell. And if you're not in manga or anime, you probably won't recognize any of those names, but there's some little girls screaming right now and probably little boys. Because, like I said, manga is just crazy hot. It's so bad. I'm even watching a few of the mangas.
Are you?
Yeah. And I'm liking them. So I can see the appeal.
Alrighty.
So those voice actors are going to be coming.
Perfect.
We have Venom. If Venom is so popular right now, we have one of the artists who's known for it is Sam De La Rosa.
Nice.
He is. I think he did Lethal Protectors.
Okay.
Whenever you think Venom, he's one of the first names that pops in your head.
Okay. So I'm sure he's enjoying the success of this Venom too.
Yeah.
I know.
He's riding that wave.
And then of course you got a little bit of for the fans of horror movies. You got a nice little lineup that's going to be coming soon.
Ari Layman, who was the original Jason in the first movie, the one that jumped up out of the water and pulled her out of the canoe.
Yeah.
And he started his own band. I think he's got his own band, but he's known for that. And that's really the only horror thing he's done. And he's still one of the more popular horror guys just for that. And then we got Andrew Branierski, he's played Leatherface and a few of the other ones. He's big into horror also. So we got those two guys. It's been a hard time getting horror people to El Paso Comic Con for some reason. Something would happen, they would have to cancel or just finding them, period, to bring in. Yeah. So I'm glad we got two of them this time.
Excellent. And I'd imagine a lot of work goes into, especially trying to clear times and accommodations. So a lot of work definitely goes into it. And before you know it, it'll be here. And in a blink of an eye, it's like it happens, but the work that goes into it definitely got to be a lot.
I try to tell people, is there, no matter what, whenever I announce people, it's always like, oh, you shouldn't bring this guy. You should bring that guy. It's not like a birthday party, man. I don't just send an invitation and say, hey, we're having an event this day. You want to come? There's contract negotiations. Once you get that out of the way, then, like you said, you have to do their travel and their hotels and ground transportation. It's a whole production just getting one person into the event, and we're bringing probably 14 to 20 every year. So it's a little bit of work.
So for any updates, we know there'll be some more updates in the coming weeks. They could check you guys out on the socials, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, we had Giancarlo Esposito last year, but he couldn't leave New York because of the weather and some filming he was doing.
Yeah.
That's Moff Gideon from Star Wars, or Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, depending on which genre you like.
Yeah.
But he's coming, and if you're one of those ancient alien conspiracy people, we're bringing in Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Is it the guy that says?
I'm not saying it was aliens.
Yes. Okay.
It was aliens.
I didn't even know his name, but I know what he looks
Yeah.
like. Everyone
the
knows what
crazy
he
hair
looks.
guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he wasn't talking about me either. He was talking about him.
And then for our retro one we have right now, we got Danny Bonaduce,
Okay.
who was a DJ.
Yeah.
He might still be a DJ in LA, but he's known for being on the Partridge Family.
Yeah.
The little red-haired kid.
He was also on a reality show, if I'm not mistaken, a VH1
Yeah,
show.
I think he boxed Donny Osmond too.
He did, huh?
Yeah. Like he beat the crap out of Donny Osmond.
There was probably a lot of hostility between those two. Who knows?
Just
We're gonna get ready to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode of Zia Comics Weekly. If they want to get in, any questions, if they want to follow you on the socials, they can follow you, right?
Yes, definitely. We'll answer any of the questions.
Yeah, they're here to help you guys out. And of course, next week, we're going to do this again next Thursday, 11 o'clock. There's always something to talk about. And I can tell you right now, the big topic next week is going to be the new Spider-Man movie.
Are you going to go watch it?
Oh, I plan to. Come on. I will be there. I haven't been to the movie theater a lot over the last year and a half, but that is definitely a movie that I need to go watch. I was telling him earlier, the first movie and the only movie that I've really been to movie theater to see is the latest Fast and Furious movie. I know. See, I need to change that. Okay. So I need to make it up for it with the new Spider-Man movie. All right. Once again, follow them on social media. You can also connect with us, search for Hot 103 as well as Hot 103's Big Show. Until then, we'll see you next week on Zia Comics Weekly.